Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in the South and our online audience tuning in. Thanks to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. I'm excited to welcome to the very first time to our program Bill Chott. You guys know him as an actor and comedian, individual who's been able to make you laugh and think along the way. We're going to talk to Bill not only about his journey in doing what he loves in entertainment, but also what it's been like for him to see the way this audience has responded to it. He has a really engaging following, especially on Instagram, but we'll let you guys know how to find him there. But also there are opportunities for you guys to get some personalized messages from Bill. We'll talk to him about that as well. Bill, thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, Cyrus. I'm glad we can get together.
Hey, definitely. So I want to start off by talking about, what you've been able to do in the industry, Bill, because I love the fact that you are able to combine your love of acting and comedy to really create some memorable experiences. What has that been like for you, Bill, to kind of reflect on this career and what you've been able to do?
Well, I've been incredibly blessed to be able to not only do, comedy, but be able to do drama. A lot of people know me as the principal from Wizards of Waverly Place or the character Thomas from the Farrelly Brothers' The Ringer. But also, I was the mailman in This Is Us. So I made a bunch of people, as they put it, I made them ugly cry. And so I've been able to do all that, and I've been able to give back with improvisation classes, which I've been teaching for, I guess, over 20 years now. And I've been able to use that improv in my work, which is not something that everybody who does improv can be lucky enough to say. So I've been able to touch on the three major areas, I think, of entertainment and be able to explore it and do the things I love. And I'm able to do it now independently, streaming online on social platforms.
Right. And let's talk about that experience. I know for people in my profession, it definitely makes it cool that I could easily find out, for one, how to get your PR contact information. And social media has made that so much easier for people in my industry. But what has that been like for you on your side, Bill, to be able to have that engagement and connection with your audience?
It's unbelievable because, I've been doing this work for quite a while, and I've never had a lot of fans reach out to me. I have maybe one or two fan letters a year because, as you mentioned, it's been tough until just recently to be able to make some sort of connection with people who might have been fans of the show or fans of me. And I knew that they were fans of Wizards of Waverly Place, but I didn't know they were fans of Mr. Larry Tate. Yeah. And I knew that they were fans of the movie The Ringer, but I didn't know that they were fans of Thomas. So it has been a little overwhelming. And like last night on the Live Jive, which is something that I do almost every day at 5 o'clock on Instagram, Pacific Standard Time, there was a gentleman with cerebral palsy who was really excited to speak to me. And his cat was crawling up on me as he was talking. And he said his name was Peter Parker. And I said, that's great. And his mother was kind of helping make it easier for us to communicate. She was facilitating the communication. So she told me, it's Peter Parker, like Spider-Man. And then that's when this fellow said, he's my hero. And I said, I love Spider-Man too. He's one of my top heroes. And he said, no, he meant me. And my voice cracked as I was speaking online. I didn't know he meant me. I didn't know I was anybody's hero. And to be able to reach out and give back to these people who've given me so much, because the kids who are fans of Wizards come up to me and say, thanks for my childhood. But what I want to tell them is thanks for my career. I wouldn't have what I have without people who supported me and supported the projects that I'm on. I get choked up now thinking about it.
That says so much, I think, too, because I guess you're right. You don't know until someone is able to articulate it that way exactly what you mean to them. So how did this all begin then, Bill? I think an obvious question would be, did you always know that you had something you wanted to share?
I did. Since I was a kid, I would put on Elvis records and sing into my mom's brush, and I would perform for myself. And then I became a little geek with magic. I started doing magic tricks, and so I always performed in show and tell and school events and talent shows. And eventually I wound up in all the school plays in high school and college. So I knew from a really early age that I wanted to entertain people. I wanted to make the day a little bit happier. I wanted to bring some brightness into people's lives.
And now you've been able to do just that. We're going to talk about the show that you do on Instagram, because I think that's a great use of that medium and the way you've been able to do it. I want to go back, though, to something that our audience talks to me about, that I try to get as many highlights from our audience when it comes to this, Bill, and that is about faith over fear, right? I think so many people kind of have an idea of what they want to do, but unfortunately we live in a world where not everyone is supportive, but not everyone believes that they can. What kind of helped you to take that plunge, to take the leap of saying, this is what I want to do, I'm going to do it?
The number one thing that helped me with that was improvisation. I studied improv at Second City, which is, they teach it to the whole world. And my first teacher was Stephen Colbert, who taught me to learn how to love the bomb, to let something happen, to jump and know that the net was there, and that net was trust and acceptance of a community around you. And so that's why I created my own community that teaches improvisation as well, called The Improv Trick. And if people want to get that sort of inspiration, they can go to that website, theimprovtrick.com. And that's basically what I teach. That sort of confidence works not just for actors, but for lawyers. I just taught a workshop today for a company that develops applications that help other companies. And I even taught workshops for the global messengers of the Special Olympics. So it's for everybody. It's accessible to everyone. I offer classes online, so it's as safe as could be.
Well, look, I think that goes to what you just shared. It goes to why you are probably the hero of many, Bill, because, just to know that someone is out there who's done what you've done and willing to pour into others and to share, I think means so much. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Bill Chott to our program today. We're talking to Bill not only about what it's been like for him to do work that he loves, you know him as an actor and comedian, but also, of course, to find that enjoyment for himself. I want to dive more into social media, because I love the way that you're using the platform. Of course, we're able to get a lot of funny videos, definitely get some characters in there too. But talk to us about the intentional way, because I think that's the best way to explain it when it comes to your page, the intentional way that you're using Instagram, Bill.
Well, the specific way that I'm using Instagram is instead of interviewing other comics or actors or entertainers, I interview my fans. I bring them on, and I get them a chance to get to know me, but more importantly, I get to know them. I get to know who they are. And so sometimes we play games. Sometimes I interview them. We play different games like the board game Taboo, where people try to guess a word, and there's certain words that I can't say. So it's ridiculous to watch me jumping through hoops trying to get somebody to guess words with the extra challenge of not being able to say other words. Or sometimes they just guess a card, whether it's higher or lower than the other card. And in between is what's happened, just like everything else in life. It's what happens in between. So in between these games, in between the next round of every game, we'll talk. And I'll get to know them a little bit better. And then the other people who are in that community get to know other people. So there are people who've made brand new friends online through this community. People feel so alone right now, and they can't always go out in public. They have to social distance. They're always wearing a mask. But in an online social media place, they can take their mask off. They're safe. They can have a conversation with me. We're both safe. They can get to know somebody else who's also a fan of me. And they even started fan pages for me, just out of just people who enjoy my social media. And that's overwhelming to me, too.
You said that kind of casually, Bill, but I want to talk about that, what you just said. You have your own fan pages. What is that like for you to know that people are that invested in you and appreciate you so much that they want to do something like that? It's still something that I'm reckoning with. It really is.
I've never felt famous per se. I know when I was recognized, I walked down the street and people would recognize me from something, but it always just seemed like a passing thing. But to know that there are, kids out there and even adults who look forward to joining me online on what I call it the Live Jive. And the Live Jive is on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And some of them are going to be posted on YouTube as well. But the fact that that's found its own audience is like, I was just doing it because I missed performing in this pandemic age. I missed connecting with fans. Like after a show, I'd stick around and I'd shake people's hands, something you really can't do now. Shake their hands, get to know them, and they'd come back and support me. And that's how I kind of grew my career from the bottom up. And that's all I was doing is to have an outlet for me and to meet the fans and show them my appreciation. And now it's turned into its own new thing to appreciate. Yeah. And it's still, like I said, it's still a little overwhelming.
So I guess an obvious question would be now, as we kind of talk about that and what you're doing, even heading into this, as we're beginning this new year, Bill, is the what's next. What should our audience be on the lookout for this year, and what are you looking forward to in 2021?
Well, I'm going to be on Young Sheldon, and I'm playing the college dean. And as you know, Ian Armitage, who plays Sheldon, his character is much more advanced than his years, so he's already going to college. And so I play the dean when he's welcome to the school. So, and that's my second appearance on the show. I appeared as a completely different character before. But so that's coming up. They can watch me on Young Sheldon. They can always go to CBS streaming services to watch that. I'm also going to be doing a movie called Mid-Century Modern, which is, I'm shooting that in May, so it's still going to be a while before that one comes out. It's a thriller, kind of in the vein of Get Out, wow. I can't talk too much about it, right?
Okay.
But it's really going to be exciting, and it's another smaller role, but I'm going to be a bad guy, and I don't get a chance to play a bad guy that often, so that'll be fun when that finally happens.
Yeah.
So people can keep a lookout for that. I'm also in the pre-production for a movie called Colorblind, which is, the best way to describe that is, it's a romantic comedy, kind of like Crazy Rich Asians, only nobody's crazy or rich in it. So that's the best way to describe that project. And then, of course, people can join me every day on the Live Jive, 4 p.m. on TikTok, Pacific Standard Time, and 5 p.m. on Instagram, Pacific Standard Time.
So cool.
And they can find me there on that if they just follow me at Bill Chott, BillChott. And that's the best way to find me on Instagram, TikTok, Venmo, if they feel like sending me money. And that's the best way. Or they can also go to my blog, which is mailman.blog. That's the easiest. It's much more easier than trying to spell my name, which is Chott.
Right. Well, speaking of sending you money and video, we have to wrap up by talking about Cameo. I had an opportunity to interview the founders of Cameo on the program last year, and it's so cool how this platform, especially in the pandemic, right, has really been an amazing thing for everyone. And now that they've added the new feature, of course, not only being able to do video, but also, of course, the chatting feature, it's cool. Let our audience know, I mean, what has that been like for you, and what are you excited about being able to do with your fans there?
I've been excited for the past year or so working on Cameo because I signed up even before the pandemic because Cameo reached out to me and said, hey, did you know there's fans of yours looking to reach out to you, and they may want to spend some money and send a greeting to their loved ones. And I've given graduation messages. I've given especially a lot of holiday messages this last holiday season. And basically just people tell me who they want to surprise with a celebrity greeting. And all they have to do is go to Cameo and look for Bill Chott, Chott. And if they're a fan of The Ringer, or if they're a fan of Wizards of Waverly Place, or if the mailman made them cry on This Is Us, here's their chance to have a personal greeting from me. Right. And they can chat, like you said. If they just wanted to ask me a question like, hey, where did the name Mr. Larry Tate come from? They can just ask a chat, and it's only a few dollars, and I can chat back with them and let them know the answers to their questions.
What a cool thing. So make sure you guys are staying connected with Bill. Bill, great conversation with you. Thank you so much for the time today, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
I would love to, anytime.
Hey, thank you for that, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.